Hey guys, it's Michelle and I'm coming to you from my attic in day 20 of self-isolation or lockdown, whatever you prefer to call it, from the COVID pandemic. I'm very lucky and grateful that my work implemented a work from home policy starting March 9th, so I have been working from home ever since. I'm taking social distancing very seriously to protect others at risk, and especially our frontline workers, like our healthcare workers. I also personally live with a chronic illness, type 1 diabetes, so it's important for me to stay healthy as well. In this video, I actually want to give you guys a few tips and tricks on what I'm doing while I'm at home to maintain stable blood sugars, because this is a huge adjustment period for some of us that are going from working the full 9 to 5 grind to being at home all the time. And as people living with diabetes, any type of diabetes, it is really important for us to maintain good blood sugar control during this time, because it is a well-known fact that having optimum blood sugar control can help us fight infections. This video is being made to share what I am personally doing in self-isolation to make sure that I have decent blood sugar control. Of course, what works for me might not work for you guys, so I would love for you to share with me in the comment section down below. Are you taking any extra precautions or steps to have really good blood sugar control during this time? And if you are, let me know what they are. So let's get started with some of my tips for maintaining good blood sugar while in isolation. Number one is pretty obvious: just have a healthy, balanced diet. So this includes a lot of plant-based food, low glycemic index food that won't spike your blood sugar, and also overall just avoiding food that you know particularly does not agree with your blood sugar. For me personally, this is pizza. People have told me 100 different ways to bolus for pizza. I swear I've tried every single type of extended bolus and it usually just doesn't work out for me. So that is one food I personally will not be touching during this period of isolation because I don't want to have any weird blood sugar complications. Overall, it's really important we eat healthy, but at the same time, we really shouldn't forget to treat ourselves. We are living in such an uncertain time and there isn't a whole lot to look forward to. So for me personally, having some treat to have or some dessert at the end of the day gets me really excited about something. And I'm not saying we should all have a piece of cake every night, obviously everything in moderation, but it is really fun to have a dessert once in a while. Just make sure you pre-bolus for anything sugary. And speaking of pre-bolusing, this brings me to my next point. Now that a lot of us have this extra time, we should really be using this time to take extra care of our diabetes by doing things like carb counting, so actually measuring out or weighing our food, and also doing something like pre-bolusing, which is when you give insulin prior to eating so that the insulin takes effect and it helps reduce blood sugar spikes after meals. You could even take this time to do something like basal testing to fine-tune those basal rates if you have an insulin pump. I'm personally doing basal testing right now and I'm using the guidelines in the book Think Like a Pancreas. But if you've never adjusted your own basal rates and you don't feel comfortable doing so, I highly suggest you work with your diabetes team right now over email or even over the phone. Another obvious thing you can do to take care of your blood sugar during this time is to stay active. Like me, if you went from being super busy out and about all the time to being inside all the time, this can take a huge toll on your blood sugars. It's really important to keep moving around if you can. If you can get outside and go for a walk where you are. Here in Toronto where I live, we are allowed to go for walks with people from the same household, but we have to keep a safe distance from other people outside, so we have to keep about 2 meters. And honestly, in Toronto, it's pretty hard to do here because there are so many people. So obviously this might not be possible where you live, but if you can get out, get outside. There are also a lot of online fitness classes available right now. A lot of studios are switching to online because they're not open anymore. So my ballet studio is doing classes through Zoom, and then my yoga teacher is pre-recording classes and releasing one a week so that we can follow the class from home. Reach out to your local studios and see if they're doing any online classes. Registering for online classes right now is also a great way to support local businesses that have had to close down because of the situation. Okay, and my last tip, managing stress. We all have a lot of stress right now and are all in different situations, whether it's being out on the front lines still, having a loved one on the front lines, managing your own chronic condition, having financial uncertainty, the list goes on and on. I think that managing stress is pretty personal because we all cope differently under high stress situations, but here are some things that I've been doing that have been keeping me calm during this time. The first thing is staying connected with friends and family over FaceTime. I've been trying to FaceTime with at least one person a day. I find it's really comforting to stay connected with people. It's also just very therapeutic to talk to people in general right now. I also like to do little self-care spa nights where I have like a bath with scented bath salts, I do a mask, and really just pamper myself. And if you guys are interested, I actually do have a self-care nighttime routine video that I made like maybe a year ago, and it's up here if you want to check that out. So during the week, I'm actually still very busy at work, but on weekends when I'm not working, I try to keep myself busy at home. For me personally, this works because I like to be busy all the time. So what my husband and I did is made an isolation list where we wrote down a bunch of things that we've wanted to do but just haven't found the time to do, and it feels so good to check off each item in that list, especially when they're household chores. So for example, you might have seen in my last vlog, my husband and I went around the house and actually patched up holes. We've been meaning to do this for months and just never made the time to do it, so it felt really good to actually do it and check that off of our list. Another thing you can do with this extra time is work on a new hobby or skill that you've always wanted to pick up, or work on something that you love to do, like drawing or playing the piano. For me, I love working on this YouTube channel. I've had a lot of fun working on these videos and also connecting with you guys through the comment section. And lastly, with respect to stress, I just want to say it is okay to not feel okay. This is a very unique time for all of us. You are allowed to feel scared, you're allowed to feel anxious, you're allowed to have days where you're feeling super motivated and getting all these chores done, and then you're allowed to have days where you wake up and feel totally unmotivated and want to stay in your pajamas all day and watch TV, and there's nothing wrong with that. Live every day, day by day, see how you feel that day and feel it out. Also, do not be afraid to reach out to family or friends if you need help or you need someone to talk to, because we really should all be there for each other right now, and we should also be checking in on our family or friends to make sure that they're okay. So those are my biggest tips for blood sugar management during this time. Obviously, what works for me might not work for you because you might be in a completely different situation than me. I am sending all of my love out to you guys right now, my virtual love. We are really in this together. Please remember to be kind to one another during this time and stay safe most of all. See you guys next time. Bye.